Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone that is joining us for this session. Today we're going to look at a topic that is quite interesting, known as office politics. Sometimes you assume only politics exist in the government or in the political so-called arena, but let me state that politics exists in a place that we are talking about resources, and the resources are supposed to be shared. And because it's obvious resources are never enough in any part of the world, whoever has influence over how to share them is actually directly involved in politics. Politics are found at home, in churches, at the workplace, in the governments, and in all manner of setup where we have human beings, we have resources, and there is a sharing mechanism. So I'd like to welcome you all to today's session. So in terms of what we're supposed to cover today, we're going to look at the session objectives. We're going to look at the definition of office politics, ways of manifestation of office politics. Then we shall proceed to ways of navigating office politics before ending up in the summary. The session objectives for this engagement is to define what is office politics, to explain the ways in which office politics manifests, and then to describe the ways of navigating office politics. So in terms of introduction, office politics refers to the informal power dynamics, social interactions and interpersonal relationships that exist within a workplace. It involves the influence, manipulation, and maneuvering of individuals or groups to achieve personal or professional goals, advance one's interests, or gain advantage within the organization. That is very important. So there's a drive that keeps people engaged in this office politics with an ultimate objective for personal gain, for professional gain, to advance an interest, meet their position, to get approval of a particular item, or to gain advantage of others. In other words, people want to go ahead of others by using the office politics up here. And of course, by doing that, sometimes you may use it legally or illegally so that you're able to be ahead of the others. And that is why, as a worker, you have to be very smart and be aware about the kind of machinations that politics exist. And we also need to know that it's an informal power dynamic, So it may show in terms of informal setups at the office, workplace, maybe people having lunch sometime, meeting people privately, out of work, and engaging with issues that concern work. In social interactions, when people go out, probably over the weekend to hang out, or even a place where they meet. And then interpersonal relationships based on who is a friend to who at the workplace and who can actually be able to forward the needs of another. So how do office politics actually manifest themselves? Here I'll list them before going deeper, where we're saying that you'll be able to see alliances and coalitions where one group engages with another, or one person alliances or collates with another to push an agenda. There is networking and social capital. We shall be seeing what's that all about. There is the information control, so that only one person is able, or one group is able to be aware about what's happening or what is about to happen. Perception management. We also have conflict resolution and hierarchy and power dynamics. We have office gossip and rumors. We have strategic communication and resource allocation. So let's delve into it and see each one of them and what it's all about. So the first one is about alliances and coalitions. That is how office politics will manifest themselves. And here we are saying that individuals or groups may form alliances or coalitions to support each other's agendas, gain influence or advance shared objectives within the organization. That is why you hear people say in politics, there are no permanent enemies or friends, or it's just politics is all about interests. So no matter who you are or whatever you may have had in the past or presently, I feel that you can be able to push my agenda, or by combining, we are able to actually move ahead in executing a particular requirement that will benefit us, both personally and in terms of our careers, probably in positions that bring more money to our pockets. Then we are likely to create alliances and coalitions. The second way that office politics manifests is through networking and social capital, where we're saying that we build relationships and networks with key stakeholders, decision makers or influential colleagues, so that you can be able to provide access to valuable resources, information, and opportunities within the organization. So by networking and social capital, you're saying that we network more, we create avenues. You may find somebody who probably likes to play golf, or who likes to hang in a certain church, or is a member of a particular social group. So you may want to join there to become friends and have this element of belonging, so that it becomes easier now to push another agenda in formal setups in the office, as a result of the social capital that you've built from other avenues that may not be directly in the office. Number 3 ways of manifesting is information control. We're saying that by controlling the flow of information, selectively sharing or withholding information, or leveraging knowledge and expertise, this can be used to gain advantage or maintain power within the workplace. That is very important. You can control the information in such a way that it's only received beforehand by a particular group that you consider to be friendly to what you intend to execute. We're also talking about selectively sharing. You only share to those people, or you let it be known by the people who are pro your agenda. And then you can withhold information which is important or which will have competitive advantage in terms of office politics from the people who you feel they are a bit anti what you intend to do. And then, of course, leveraging knowledge and expertise, whereby you take advantage of information beforehand to execute what you wish. The next way that you're able to see manifestation of office politics is through perception management, whereby you manage one's image, reputation, or perception among colleagues, supervisors, or subordinates, so that you can influence how others perceive and interact with them within the organization. You might find somebody trying to give personalized details about a particular person, or saying, I don't think this person is really worth this because of 1, 2, 3. Maybe this one time I've known about his personal issues, maybe his children, his academics, the way he engages and those kind of things. That is trying to change the perception of other people in relation to another that you feel might benefit before you on a particular item. And that way you're able to ensure that when the voting in quotes comes of age, or proposals are required on who probably is the best fit, then the person who you think is ahead because of the perception management that you have undertaken is actually not a beneficiary of those particular items. The second way in which office politics manifests is through conflict resolution. We were saying that by negotiating and navigating conflicts, disagreements, or power struggles diplomatically, this can help individuals maintain relationships and minimize disruption within the workplace, So you might feel an issue probably may not benefit people in the right manner. So you kind of try to navigate a conflict which was potential, which would have gone against your particular agenda. Therefore, you shelve what we said, like you retreat for the time being, but waiting to benefit people in the future. So somebody who you saved from probably a potential conflict or a disagreement or a negative impact is very likely to be very pro what you may wish them to do in future to push your particular agenda, because they feel you're friendly and you supported them in what they needed to undertake. Then we have hierarchy and power dynamics, where we're saying that by recognizing and understanding the formal and informal power struggles, hierarchies and dynamics within the organization, this can help individuals navigate relationships and decision-making process effectively. In the hierarchy of organizations, what we refer to as the structure of an organization, from the board of directors, from the directors, who is next and who is next, up to the lowest level. So you might be able to understand that probably a particular level may not be very pro what you want, but a higher level may be pro what you want, or you may have influence there. So you take advantage of the hierarchy to push your agenda, so that the people may be anti what you want on the lower levels are pushed by the higher levels to execute what you may want. And that is where we talk about the hierarchy and power dynamics. Then we also have the office gossip and rumors, what we may refer to as the grapevine. And where we're saying that rumors, gossip, or speculation about colleagues, supervisors, or organizational changes can influence perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors within their workplace. By sending out a rumor, a gossip, or a speculation, you are likely to get feedback of what people think about a particular person or a particular issue. before actually going formally into executing it. And that is why we say these are some of the ways that gossips and rumors help in pushing ahead office politics. We also have strategic communication, where we're saying that under this, we're talking about crafting messages, presentations, or proposals strategically to influence decision makers, again, support for initiatives or mitigate opposition within the organization. You can craft messages, presentations, or proposals to show some particular groups are performing better than others. And probably those are the groups or people that you feel are pro what you want. And the ones that you feel are anti or may likely to oppose what you may want, you kind of portray their negatives to be higher, which is basically the whole element of strategic communication. In other words, you're communicating with a strategy in place to execute a particular agenda that you benefit from the office politics. Then the resource allocation, which is one of the key ways in which office politics manifests itself, by denying and by allowing others resources. Of course, when you have resources, you have power because you're able to execute what you want. If you don't have resources, then even your performance will actually suffer. So that this, we're saying that competing for scarce resources such as budgets, staffing, or project assignments may involve negotiation, persuasion, or lobbying to secure resources for one's team or department. So when one department budget is approved as opposed to another, or when the resources of one group are reduced, or when you are given more staff than another group, definitely you seem to have your way with the upper echelons of power, you know? And of course, if you have more resources and more staff, you are likely to perform better because you're able to execute things in a timely manner and at a faster rate. Then there's the other way of office etiquette and the social norms, where we are talking about adhering to or challenging established office etiquette, social norms or unwritten rules, which can impact one's standing and acceptance within the workplace, you know? So you may have some particular social norms or unwritten rules, you know, the way people feed, the way people take their tea, you know, but do these people really portray an aura of somebody who is corporate? You know, is this somebody that we really need to promote? Is it going to be like bring shame in quotes if we forward him to higher positions or require him to go and present us to some particular setups? Do you think he carries the aura of a leader, somebody who looks like when he's in a meeting, he can represent the company? And of course, when you push this office etiquette and social norms, mannerisms, sometimes they may really work against a particular person, even the way people dress and all those kind of points. So now having looked at that, now we proceed to ways of navigating office politics. You need to really be aware that office politics can really work against you, and you need to be smart or have what we may talk about as emotional intelligence, you know? Yeah, so we're saying that navigating office politics effectively requires a combination of interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, and strategic thinking, a combination, you know? So you must have that gift internally of interpersonal skills or improve on them, because these are skills you can learn and match them up to what you want them to achieve. Emotional intelligence, this is a whole unit we're going to look at, but you must have that ability to be smart emotionally, to sense things beforehand and act accordingly, you know, to arrest or redirect the particular objectives of what was supposed to be done. And then strategically now thinking by executing, you execute items that they act here, but the final effect will be felt in a different direction. So how do we do this? For a start, we're going to list them before diving into them. The first way is to build strong relationships, especially up there in the organizational structure. Staying neutral and objective, you know, because when you're deemed to be swayed to a particular group, then already you create avenues for discontent. Then we have be authentic and genuine, develop emotional intelligence, communicate effectively, adapt to organizational culture, focus on professionalism and results, seek allies and mentors, you know, and remain flexible and adaptable. These are the ways that you can be able to use to undertake a navigation of office politics. So let's delve into them. The first way of building strong relationships. You're saying that you need to cultivate positive relationships with colleagues, supervisors, and key stakeholders across different departments or teams. Building trust, rapport, or mutual respect can help you navigate office politics more effectively and garner support for your ideas and initiatives, you know? Of course, if you if the people who are supposed to watch for you, you're in good terms, you know, and you have a strong relationship with them, then of course don't expect you to be a loser when office politics actually come into play. We're also saying that you need to stay neutral and objective. No matter which group you support, you don't need to be known publicly to actually support them. So avoid getting drawn into office gossip, rumors, or conflicts that can fuel negativity or undermine relationships. Maintain a neutral and objective stance, focus on facts rather than emotions, and seek to understand different perspectives before forming judgment or taking actions. You know, knee-jerk reactions sometimes will make you jump into what we say, jumping from the frying pan to the fire, you know? So you need to be strategic. You need to be neutral at first and objective. People need to know that by the time they approach you, that there must be something that you can buy into that requires convincing. And therefore, you don't need to look like somebody who can be swayed to either direction, that nobody can trust you on either of the issues that will be in under consideration. Then next, we have be authentic and genuine. You're saying that maintain authenticity and integrity in your interactions and communications with others. Be transparent, honest, and sincere in your dealings, and avoid engaging in manipulative or deceptive behaviors that can damage trust and credibility. If people sense like you're not somebody who can really stand with them or who can stand for something, of course, they don't count you to be among the first people they would want to engage in their respective activities, and therefore you need to be careful about that. Next is to develop emotional intelligence, very important. Cultivate emotional intelligence by understanding and managing emotions effectively, as well as empathizing with the emotions of others, you know? Not sympathizing, but empathizing. Eh? This can help you navigate challenging situations, resolve conflicts diplomatically, and build positive relationships with colleagues. Of course, when you empathize, you actually don't just look at the problem. You also look at the solutions that can be offered to the problem. You know, when you develop emotional intelligence, you are very much aware of what is affecting what, and who is being affected by this. As a result of this, what will be the repercussions? And therefore, what do you need to arrest now to avoid having the bigger impact of the negative office politics that may come away, you know? You can also rebuild teams or recreate new alliances as a result of understanding what is coming and who it will affect and what they can do right now to act against it or look for the lesser problematic issue. Then communicate effectively, where we're saying that you need to practice clear, assertive, and respectful communication in all interactions with colleagues and stakeholders. Be proactive in sharing information, seeking feedback, and addressing concerns or misunderstandings to prevent miscommunication and mitigate conflict, you know? Practice clear, assertive, and respectful communication in all interactions with colleagues. You know, when you practice clear, assertive, and respectful communication, it's above board. Because office politics, you're saying they're informal. So you don't need to appear like you can be read so easily into what you are thinking and what you are planning to do, you know? So that way you're able to, what people usually say, that you step out of the grass so that you're able to see the snakes in the grass, like they say, figuratively speaking. So you also need to be proactive in sharing information, seeking feedback, you know? Now that I've let you know about this, you know, it's kind of related to the grapevine, the gossips. What are people saying about it? What do they think about it? Are they pro? Are they anti? So do we need to proceed with it, or do we need to actually avoid it, you know? And addressing concerns or misunderstandings to prevent miscommunication. So you should make sure that communication is getting feedback and then you act on it accordingly to avoid being caught up in the office politics on the losing side. Then we also have to adaptation to organizational culture. Familiarize yourself with the organizational culture, norms, and values, and adapt your behavior and communication style accordingly. Align your actions with the cultural expectations of the organization, which can help you navigate office politics and move smoothly and gain acceptance within the workplace. You need to look like somebody who is above board, who stands for what the company believes in. So that even when somebody is trying to work up against you, I mean, the kind of threshold you've built for yourself is too high for anybody to actually come and start challenging it. And that's why I'm saying this is extremely important as far as looking like a leader, looking at somebody who is above board on issues is actually concerned. Then we have focusing on professionalism and results. Yeah, be professional, competent, and results, and produce good results in your work. because people who are very, very efficient, a way of playing politics around them, everybody will be very anti that, because they know these are the key pillars of the company. Nobody wants to actually, but if you play around with them. But if you're somebody who people know you're not efficient, you're not professional, ways of catching you up into necessary politics becomes very easy. So demonstrate your value through high quality work, reliability, and accountability, rather than engaging in self-promotion or political maneuvering, you know. If you're the leader of the team that is always winning in terms of performance, you're the worker who comes to work on time, who dresses right, and who is able to serve his clients, and they are all good reviews around you, then it becomes hard for office politics to actually negatively impact on you, you know. Then seeking allies and mentors, even on the global stage, we usually talk about like the NATO allies, for instance, and then we have the other group. You can't act alone. You're at disadvantage when you act alone. So if you, in the event that you want to execute something to your advantage, you really need to seek allies and mentors. You know, mentors are people who probably can guide you, who have been there before. They know the pros and the cons of all that. Allies are friends who can actually help you and stand with you in this execution of what you need for the office politics to work for you. So we're saying identify allies and mentors within the organization who can provide guidance, support, and advocacy as you navigate office politics. Building strong relationships with experienced colleagues or mentors can help you navigate organizational dynamics more effectively and advance your career. That is something you've already said. Remain flexible and adaptable. In politics, usually people have this saying that I think politics is like an ear in politics, you know. So you have to always be on the lookout for new information that can come anytime. And the new information actually is feedback, which can actually help you change your prior perception of how things were. So stay flexible and adaptable in your approach to workplace challenges and opportunities. Be willing to adjust your strategies, priorities, and behaviors as needed to navigate changing dynamics. Seize opportunities and overcome obstacles in the workplace. So people usually say you are as wise as a serpent, you know, and somebody was trying to say that, you know, a serpent goes round and round and avoids barriers. Of course, over and above the story of Adam and Eve that came up about being wise and cheating the woman and all that. But, you know, somebody who is able to go around barriers and get new information and change strategy is somebody who is actually flexible and adaptable. Then focus on long-term goals. You know, don't just look at getting into the politics and then without looking at the final ultimate goal, which is actually the end result of what you intend. So you plan from the beginning to the end. So keep your long-term career goals and aspirations in mind as you navigate office politics. You need to focus on building a reputation for professionalism, integrity, and excellence that will serve you well throughout your career rather than pursuing short-term gains at the expense of integrity or reputation. Sometimes succession may be required, and that's one of the key issues that come up. When there are mergers, when there are acquisitions and the like, when there are successions where we have like people retiring or moving to other companies, that creates a whole new pool of teams that need to be built and new leadership. And therefore, if you are somebody whose career goals and aspirations are a bit long-term in the sense of being very professional, having good integrity and excellence, that creates actually a very good opportunity for you to advance. And of course, when you're at an advantage point of maybe higher levels of the management hierarchy, then you're able to force what you may need down to the groups that are actually below. And that's why you find whenever like a CEO or a director leaves and one comes in, or a managing director, then you'll find that people are big beneficiaries in the initial or in the previous regime, but now they're actually losers. And those are key points that you really have to check. So in summary, we're saying that while office politics can sometimes be perceived negatively, it is an inherent aspect of organizational life and can be leveraged constructively to achieve common goals, to foster collaboration, and drive success within the organization. Therefore, people can look at it negatively, but those people use them positively to advance what they need, because it's a way, it's part and parcel of organizational life. So you need to be aware about it and act accordingly. However, it is essential to navigate office politics ethically, with integrity, and in alignment with the organization's values and objectives. Building strong relationships, cultivating emotional intelligence, and maintaining professionalism can help individuals navigate office politics effectively while preserving the integrity and reputation. That's very important. And of course, in terms of definition, we said as a link-up that office politics refers to the informal power dynamics, social interactions and interpersonal relationships that exist within a workplace. It manifests itself in such ways as through alliances and coalitions, networking and social capital, information control, perception management, conflict resolution, hierarchy and power dynamics, office gossip and rumors, strategic communication, resource allocation. We're also saying that there are some ways that you can use to navigate office politics. Number one is to build strong relationships. Two is stay neutral and objective. Number three is to be authentic and genuine. Number four is to develop emotional intelligence. Number five is to communicate effectively. Number six is to adapt to organizational culture. Number seven is to focus on professionalism and results. Number eight is to seek allies and mentors. And lastly is to remain flexible and adaptable. Thank you so much for your time, that you found time to check up on this session. And we wish you all the best. From Poboli Associates, we wish you all the best. You can engage us for any other management services that you may need. Check our website that is down there. Have a good time, and thank you once again. Bye-bye.